Greetings and salutations, all, and welcome back to the Stock Market Professor. I'm John J. Sneed, aka the Stock Market Professor, where we break down complex investing ideas into simple, everyday language. Today, as I promised, we're going to talk about YieldMax stocks, these high-yield monthly paying funds. And I want to zero in on one that's getting a ton of buzz, ULTY, the YieldMax Ultra Option Income Strategy ETF. Normally, I show my account and the progress in the account, but I'm using YieldMax and there are a lot of questions on it. And so I want to discuss what YieldMax is, and as I promised, why I'm using them. The main reason is to make money fast. And as everybody knows, that's what we want to do. So without further ado, let me press on. So imagine a way to own a version of popular stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, stocks that pay you a consistent monthly dividend. Well, that's what ETFs do. Now, YieldMax does a similar thing. So each YieldMax, though, focuses on a single stock. However, in ULTY or ULTY's case, it has a basket of 114 total holdings. And so they use a covered call strategy, selling options on those stocks to generate monthly income. So when you invest, you're actually in a strategy designed to distribute that option income, not simply buying the stocks themselves. And so as you can see, it covers a lot of sectors in the stock market. The only problem with this is the trade-off. In these ETFs, because they promise jaw-dropping yields, sometimes 30, 40% or more annually. But the catch, your upside is capped, and so you're sacrificing some growth potential compared to holding the stock directly. But most ETFs are similar to that. ULTY isn't tied to just one company. It's based on a diversified bundle of stocks selected for their strong options premium. ULTY is a big difference from single stock YieldMax ETFs. So the diversification helps explain why ULTY is less volatile than single stock peers. It smooths out extreme swings and provides a steadier base for option income generation. I learned things too. I started out just looking at the high yields and the ones that were going to pay me the most. However, when you do the math and put pen to paper, ULTY is more consistent and it pays out higher than a lot of the other ones. So all that glitters isn't gold. Even with diversification, ULTY isn't a walk in the park. It still uses covered calls, which can limit your upside, and monthly yields aren't guaranteed. And of course, option strategies can lead to erosion in the stock over time, what we call NAV erosion, net asset value. With ULTY, you have to treat it like an income generator and not a growth play. Here's a look at how you evaluate your role in your portfolio. So you have to pick a lane. Do you want income generation or do you want growth? With these generate income. The question of the day that I get all the time is, can YieldMax last? Are these going to be around? Is it too good to be true? So that's a naturally common question. We're going to go and look at the facts. And so I'm going to make a comparison of some other ETFs that people recommend all the time. And so when you look at YieldMax, you'll see that it's a little bit different. It's just newer than everything else, but I don't think it's going anywhere. This is a simple Google search. The two most popular ETFs that track the S&P 500 are the Vanguard VOO and the SPY, the Spider S&P 500 ETF. These are the two biggest ETFs, and these are the ones that Warren Buffett himself recommends. And so all financial planners, if you go to Charles Schwab, if you go to Fidelity, and you say, hey, look, I just want to do index funds and I just want to, set it and forget it. Let's take a look at this. Everybody, these are the two most popular ETFs. These happen to be two of the most recommended ETFs by financial planners, Vanguard, banks, you name it. Now, let me tell you what's wrong with this picture, because most people will follow this and they'll say, that sounds good to me. And then what they're going to miss is opportunity cost. Now, get ready. If you're sitting down, let me do the math. Before I go further, I'm going to go backwards a little bit. This has 700 billion and 649 billion assets under management. So there are millions and millions and millions of people that have, this is their retirement. The Vanguard, when you look at it closely, is $582 per share, the VOO. The Spider, the SPY, is $634 per share. YieldMax, ULTY, is $6.35 per share. Now, remember, the Spider and the Vanguard are the two most highly recommended stocks. And there are millions of people with their retirement account. They have as much VOO as they can, and they keep reinvesting in it to buy more and more shares, which is okay. Now, let's look at these holdings. So when you look at ETFs, the reason these are the two most recommended is because they have safety in them. When you have 100 stocks, 300 stocks, 500 stocks, one stock is not going to tank the VOO, or one stock that fails is not going to tank the SPY. They'll just swap it out with another stock that's better performing. And so with ULTY, it's the same thing. It doesn't have 500, but it has 100, 114. It doesn't rely on one thing to topple the whole ETF. And so ULTY is pretty solid. This is why there's volatility, but not that much when you're looking at all the other YieldMax stocks, which is what makes this one great. And look at the price. $500, $600, $6. So let's keep going, because it gets better. And so when you follow the money, all that glitters ain't gold, as I said before. So when you look at the VOO dividend information, my goal, even with this account that I'm going to show all throughout the year, my purpose in teaching this is to teach you how to have a paycheck for life, and to grow yourself out of the job, to grow yourself into retirement, to grow yourself into where you live your best life. My two books are just that: How to Create a Forever Paycheck for Life. Now, when you look at the VOO, you see the circle that is quarterly payouts. When you see the SPY, you see it's quarterly payouts. But when you look at ULTY, you will see it's a weekly payout. This is where time isn't money, time is more than money. And this is where ULTY, this is a different separator in people that know and people that don't know. Here's a comparison to do the math. So when you look at the first column, the ETF price, VOO is $582, the SPY is $634, and ULTY is $6.35. So let's say we all did an initial investment amount of $100,000. You look at the ETF dividend. Well, the VOO pays $1.70 per share every quarter. The SPY pays $1.75 per share every quarter. ULTY pays 9 cents per share every week. So when you take $582 and you divide it by $100,000, that's going to give you 172 shares in the VOO. If you take $634 and divide it by $100,000, your initial investment, that's going to give you 156 shares in the VOO. If you take ULTY at $6.35 and you divide it by $100,000, that's going to give you 15,748 shares. Now, The weekly payout of ULTY is $1,417.32. The VOO and the SPY, remember, pay quarterly. So the monthly payout, if you times this times 4, your average of ULTY is going to be $5,669.28 a month. Not bad, right? Remember, the VOO and the SPY pay out quarterly. So monthly, you're not going to get it. Your quarterly dividend payout of the VOO is $292. And your quarterly payout of SPY is $276.50. Your quarterly payout of ULTY is $17,000.08. Now, every quarter, you're going to get paid that amount. Look at the annual payout. So after 1 year, this is everybody put 3 people putting in $100,000. The person that put all their money in VOO is going to get an annual payout of $1,169.60. The person that put in $100,000 of SPY is going to get paid out $1,106 even every year. The person who put their money in ULTY will make $68,032 every year. Now, when you go 5 years and 10 years down the line, the gap is going to get wider and wider. The winner is ULTY. And I tell my group this all the time, Wealth Builders Mastermind Group, that any financial principle that you don't understand and any financial principle that you don't use is going to be used against you by somebody who does understand it. There are millions and millions and millions of people that have VOO and SPY. And then there's the faithful few that have ULTY. Time is not money. Time is more than money. And so this is the reason why ULTY is magical. And guess what? If it changes 5 years down the line, who cares? You've made a lot of money and then you have options. So let me show you how committed I am. So here's my real commitment to ULTY. So as you can see, this is not the account that I normally show on this channel. I just show the Robinhood account that I want to grow, but this is my other investment account. And look at the amount of ULTY that I have. You know, that's a serious commitment level right there. I have 56,000 shares. Now, that pays me $5,500 a week, which is more than $250,000 a year, whether I do anything or not. This is my commitment level. I want to show you I don't talk about it, I be about it. I have an investment group and I have a cloud of witnesses that will tell you the same thing. I also have written 3 books on investment. So Sector X about sector investing and monthly dividends, your paycheck for life. And my newest book, The Forever Paycheck, Building Wealth the Warren Buffett Way. The links are down below, and so the proof is in the pudding. If you have any questions, hit me up on thestockmarketprofessor.com. You can email me at info@thestockmarketprofessor.com, and I'll answer some of your questions on some of the future videos, so that way you don't have to scroll down in the chat, and then everybody can benefit from them. In the meantime and in between time, thank you for watching this video. It's a lot longer than I normally do. I just wanted to explain YieldMax one good time so that as we go forward, you can actually track the account and see how I'm doing. And periodically, I'll give you updates on the other account that I showed with my commitment level so you can see the sheer amount of dividends that I'm growing in my other accounts. Peace and blessings to you all. Subscribe to the channel and keep watching. Peace.